Really, Pinky? I thought the spin-off series was far superior. Well, this is kind of strange. Just 2 weeks removed from the last Fluttershy episode, we get another one. I really don't know why they can't spread out the character episodes a bit more. Though it was pretty cool that this story was given a setup in Three's a Crowd. And how appropriate that it should be that episode, because, much like that episode, this was kind of dispensable. The story isn't even really about Fluttershy. It's about the Breezies, which honestly, I'm not a fan of. I don't like their design, I find their voices annoying, and they are pretty pathetic. I mean, if a single leaf is enough to throw them off course, how can they realistically hope to get home safely without a lot of help? Maybe this wouldn't bother me so much if they didn't seem like they weren't even interested in helping themselves. The help they get from the Pegasi appears to have been provided on Fluttershy's instructions, and they would have apparently had no hope of getting the pollen home safely without it. What were they planning on doing if the ponies of Ponyville had not been willing to help them? Also, what's with these weird moments this season where Spike just comes out of nowhere and becomes the main focus for a few seconds, and then quickly disappears for the rest of the episode? Are the writers just concerned that he has nothing to do? Because giving him pointless scenes like this doesn't really fix that. On top of that, this episode is just boring. Other than a lesson that is squeezed into the last few minutes, it's mostly just the Breezies sitting around not doing anything, or exposition that actually left me more confused as to what was going on.
Slow down the breeze for the other group to catch up!
They're too far back. We can't connect the breeze to both sets of Breezies.
What if we speed it up? Then the first group will be going too fast, and we'll get separated from each other!
There were a few moments that made me laugh, like Tara Strong's delivery of this line, the reverse version of the pre-title scene from Sonic Rainboom, and the reference to the Doctor Who episode Army of Ghosts, which I particularly loved because it was a reference that only people who've seen the show will get, though I wasn't so keen on pairing him up with Rose. Seriously, fuck that character. But for the most part, the first 2/3 of this episode felt like they were just killing time before that scene with the bees, where they gave us what was actually quite a good lesson. Oh, by the way, before I go on, I probably won't have a better chance to make this joke, so I might as well.
Oh, no, not the bees! Not the bees! Ah!
I like the way Fluttershy shows Seabreeze that there are times when you do have to be unkind in order to get things to happen, and that by being kind, you may end up doing more harm than good. And that's really the annoying thing for me here. This episode actually has quite a good lesson, but we have to sit through a good 10 minutes of nothingness in order to get to it. Then after that scene, more nothingness. They just get them home, Fluttershy acquires her key item, and that's about it. In fact, it's worse now, because now we have to look at the main text as Breezies, who look even more abysmal than the pony human designs from the end of Equestria Girls. Also, does anyone think that the writer's use of the whole Twilight has a spell that fixes everything thing has become a bit excessive? I mean, I don't really mind Deus Ex Machina devices, but there is a point when you just have to say, oh, you know what, this is just too much. Now, there have been a lot of people that have been saying that there are a few things about the Breezies that don't make sense, and I think that is really a sign of how unengaging this episode is. If the core narrative had worked, I doubt people would be thinking about things like, why do they need that breeze? Why do they have to go to another dimension to get pollen? Or why did they take such a big risk for pollen? Though it is possible that we will be seeing them again, since this is a key episode, so maybe they are planning to explain a bit more about them later in the season. But as for this episode, it was just a bore.